What's up guys, RuppDat here, bringing you the semi-finals for the International Battling League. Our Columbus Swoo are still alive and still in it to win it, despite a very game challenge from Sven and his Uppsala Umbreons last week. This week, however, we venture into slightly familiar territory. And it's territory that I am definitely all too familiar with, well beyond just the IBL. For the semi-finals, we have to face the Delta Gligars, coached by Platinum Howler. As you may recall, we have met in the regular season, that being Week 11, where in order to prepare for this exact scenario, because somehow we both had a feeling this was going to be the case, we both basically just used memes. I ended up losing that game because I got horribly out-memed, but this is the real deal. This is the one that matters. Winner goes on to the finals. So, naturally, I would kind of like to avenge that meme loss with a serious win, if at all possible. Let's leave my locker room behind as my team is chilling as always, and head over to the chalkboard to discuss what my plan of attack is for this game. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little iffy on this, but I think I might be able to pull this off if I play my cards right. Howler's team will be appearing off to the right. His team is as follows, since I didn't do a team builder the last time we played, because it was just memes for fun. His roster has Terrakion, Grimmsnarl, Arcanine, Duraludon, which is his G-Max, and one of the kill leaders for the season. Rotom-Mow, Araquanid, Reuniclus, Piloswine, Drifblim, Garbodor, and Noctowl. There are 3 mons that stand out to me as probably the biggest threats he has to my roster, at least in my opinion. Terrakion, Reuniclus, and G-Max Duraludon. Terrakion because it is the fastest mon on his team, and the only one he has that's over base 100 speed. The fact that speed ties with 2 of my 3 mons that are over base 100 is obviously a bit of a problem, especially since it holds type advantage over both of them. So I would not be surprised to see him bring Terrakion and try to heavily rely on that thing against me. Reuniclus is also a bit of a problem just because Reuniclus in general is a problem. That blob of jelly is probably going to be the bane of my existence in this game if you want me to be perfectly honest. It does run into a bit of move slot syndrome in this game, however, depending on how he wants to play it, because if he wants to run a Calm Mind or a Trick Room set, to some degree, to fit all the coverage he actually needs to handle the team I'm bringing, he would either have to forego Stab or forego one of his coverage options, because he would need Focus Blast for some of my mons, but he would also need Shadow Ball for the other. And foregoing Psychic means he's foregoing Stab options, which might make dealing with it a little easier in the long run. If he runs an AV set, then he can easily fit all that coverage on there, but he's also, again, not able to recover. So, Reuniclus may not be as bad pending how he thinks he's able to manage this, and once I find out what his Reuniclus is, I can pick it apart accordingly, or at least that's the hope. And of course, G-Max Duraludon, do I really need to say anything about this monstrosity? I mean, it's stupid powerful, it's got great physical bulk. I would not be surprised if he runs AV to try to compensate for its special bulk. Outside of those 3, if there's any one mon I am honestly almost 100% positive he's going to bring, it's going to be Arcanine. For the simple fact that Arcanine is probably the best answer he has to the one mon I have that can really do a lot of damage to Howler's team. And that would be the mon I have in my very first slot here, Guardian the Cobalion. Let me lay this out for you. Choice Band Cobalion actually punches a lot of very big holes in Howler's entire roster. He has very little that actually wants to take a close combat from this thing. And the things that do, either they aren't appreciating an Iron Head, they flat out die to Stone Edge, or in the case of Garbodor, Zen Headbutt is certainly something it does not want to take. Garbodor is honestly the main reason I'm bringing Zen Headbutt. I'm not really expecting to have to rely on it. It's just there as a 4th move if necessary. But I'm probably going to be clicking Close Combat primarily. Ironhead certainly hits the things Close Combat doesn't. And for things like Noctowl and Araquanid, and I think to some degree even Rotom-Mow, though that thing doesn't want to be eating a Close Combat at all. Stone Edge is certainly going to hurt. I think Stone Edge actually does more than Close Combat to Arcanine as well, but obviously Close Combat's still doing a lot. Let me be clear about this. A defensive Arcanine, even after an Intimidate, is still 2-hit KO'd by a Close Combat from Choice Band Cobalion, pending Howler's investment. That is a little ridiculous. And honestly, I think Cobalion's probably going to be my best answer to Gmax Duraludon, because it can actually take hits from that thing well, even when maxed, and Banded Close Combat is still a 2-hit KO on that thing, even after it maxes and gets its big HP buff. Howler would have to go very physically defensive to barely avoid a 2-hit KO, and that kind of neuters what Duraludon is mainly here to do, which is try to punch holes in my team. Next up, we have Cryogenic the Kyurem. I opted to run a Scarf set this time around, because I really don't think I've run Scarf Kyurem all season. So maybe that might catch Howler off guard, especially since I think Kyurem is honestly the best mon I probably could Scarf for this game, to potentially try to deal with Terrakion if that thing isn't Scarfed. Because I'm not bringing Salazzle, because Salazzle, ignoring what I pulled for the meme match, Salazzle actually has a bit of a poor matchup here in a lot of scenarios. It's just not doing as much damage as I would want it to, so I decided I was going to leave it on the bench. And Galvantula, kind of in the same boat, honestly. And if I run Max Speed Scarf and Howler does 2 with Terrakion, then we've got a bit of a potential problem. Scarf Kyurem, however, can still put in a lot of work. I've got just enough speed to be able to guarantee outspeed Timid Max Speed Scarf Rotom-Mow, because even though I can take hits from that thing all day long anyway with Kyurem, I would prefer to just blow it up with something right out of the gate and just be done with it. Draco Meteor is just powerful stab. Freeze Dry, it's ice coverage for all the things that are weak to ice, and especially fatal to Araquanid. And Focus Blast and Flash Cannon are my remaining coverage to be able to handle the things that would resist otherwise. Or more so in the case of Flash Cannon, be an answer to Grimmsnarl, because I could see him pulling a Grimmsnarl switch in on Kyurem, trying to catch either a Draco Meteor or even a potential Focus Blast. Moving on, we have my Gmax, Hesukia the Hatterene. This is fairly familiar territory, and I thought it was... I played around with several different options for this game, but I figured at the end of the day, the tried and true is probably the way I'd want to go here. Trick Room 3 attacks with Wise Glasses to give the 1.1 times power boost to my special attack. Little bit of defensive investment, 244 HP investment as well. Dazzling Gleam and Psychic are all the stab I will need. Shadow Ball is there primarily for Reuniclus, which, with the Wise Glasses and Maxed, I believe is actually a 2-hit KO on that thing. The idea should be fairly obvious. Set up Trick Room, Max, and then proceed to start going to town on Howler's roster. Even if I'm not maxed, a Hatterene under Trick Room with Wise Glasses actually does a lot of damage to a good chunk of his team. Obviously, I have to be wary because I need the opportunity to set the Trick Room up. But if I find an opening and I'm able to do so, Hatterene is definitely going to be sitting pretty and is going to become a significant threat to Howler's team. Moving to the bottom half of my roster now. This is the top half is the more offensive portion of this. The bottom half is the more defensive portion. And that portion starts with Laundry Day, our Rotom Wash. Basic idea here, leftovers. It's here to default hazards away because I could see him pulling Web's Araquanid on me to either counter Galvantula Webs or just try to slow me down because my team kind of does outspeed his for the most part in a lot of areas. Volt Switch and Hydro Pump are typical Rotom moves. I debated the fourth move for a long time, but ultimately I decided to go with Pain Split. Mostly because I feel that with this EV investment, I can easily take hits and just Pain Split back to get damage, to get HP back, while lowering the health of whatever's in front of me. Ideally, I would pull this on Duraludon, because I think I can actually after Pain Split, depending on what set he's running, I think I can actually take 2 hits from G-Max Duraludon and get myself back up to a good amount with Pain Split to offset his damage. Maybe even all 3 turns if I play my cards right. It would depend on how much I get back, considering that thing's, how Pain Split factors into the buffed HP for Dynamaxing. Then we have Curse Design, the Runerigus, another leftover set, basic HP max defense set. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and Shadow Claw are fairly standard fare for Curse Design at this point. I'm running Substitute in the last move slot. It might seem a bit odd, but to be perfectly honest, the more I look over Howler's roster, the more I realize not only does Runerigus actually have an incredibly good matchup against several Mons, despite having a very poor matchup elsewhere, it can actually kind of serve as a good lure in most cases. So on a matchup like, say, if I'm facing Arcanine, assuming he doesn't have Snarl, or if he's definitely a more physically attacking one, and especially Terrakion, because Curse Design pretty much walls Terrakion into oblivion all day long, I can easily sub on a predicted switch, and then respond accordingly, pending what he brings in. Either get my rocks up, or just EQ or Shadow Claw to be able to take advantage of whatever he's got in, just to start chipping away at it. The downside of this is my Runerigus cannot touch his Noctowl if he brings it. But considering Noctowl has actually not done too well for Howler, I don't know if he would risk it in this game. Especially considering I have things like Kyurem and Rotom Wash that just straight up annihilate the thing, plain and simple. So I don't know if he would take that gamble. So I think I feel comfortable enough running with this Runerigus set. And if I do see Noctowl when we get into the battle, I will plan accordingly. And last but not least, we have Aram the Serena. Basically the same spread I ran against Sven last week, although I did make a slight tweak, that being taking a little bit of HP away and adding it to speed. Mostly to try to be sure that Serena can, at the very least, not speed tie with no speed Piloswine. He might attempt to speed creep me, we'll see how that plays out, but for the most part, unless I can confirm what that Piloswine's speed is, I would probably be going into Rotom Wash anyway. But Power Whip is there because Stupidly Strong Stab, Knockoff and U-Turn are fair for pivoting out and getting rid of items, especially if his Duraludon is packing Knockoff, or if his Duraludon is packing AV. That allows things like Kyurem and Hatterene to be able to deal with it a little easier, even though they're actually still doing over half to that thing even while maxed. And High Jump Kick is there primarily for the aforementioned Duraludon more than anything else. Just because Low Kick is obviously not doing anything to that thing while it's maxed, and even still he could run Light Metal to lessen the damage of that even further. And just a strong neutral hit on anything that would normally be resisting Power Whip if I don't say click Knockoff. Because I do have to be a bit wary clicking Knockoff so liberally just because of Terrakion, because I don't want to give that thing a justified boost. But Howler would really have to be certain that I'm committed to a Knockoff play if and when he knows I have it. Because otherwise, he could very well switch that thing straight into a High Jump Kick or a Power Whip. And next thing you know, he's down Terrakion, which is arguably probably, next to Duraludon, the most threatening mon he could throw at me. So, that is going to be the team as we switch back to the locker room, and my mon's just chilling in preparation for the battle that is about to begin. Hopefully we'll be able to pull this out, and I will be one win away from being IBL champion. We will have to see how this goes, especially since my track record against Howler is not the greatest. So, we'll see how this plays out. I will see you guys when it's battle time. Alright, here we are. Me and Howler for semifinals. Let's see if I can knock him out and be one win away from a championship. Here's to hoping. Alright, he brought Araquanid, G-Max Duraludon, Reuniclus, Grimmsnarl, Terrakion, and Drifblim. He did not bring Arcanine. Wow, I was 100% certain he was going to bring Arcanine because Cobalion seemed like such a threat. Araquanid with webs is no surprise. Of course he's going to bring his Duraludon. Reuniclus is no surprise, and he has Terrakion. Grimmsnarl. I have a feeling I might know what he's going to do with that. Drifblim's an interesting option. So, I kind of want to lead Cryogenic to get a big hit off on something, pending what he leads with. An Araquanid lead seems fairly obvious. He could also lead something else, and I could potentially try to hit with a Focus Blast. Yeah, I'm going to make the aggressive lead here and lead Cryogenic. Pending how he leads, I may change my game plan on this and switch out, but I'm feeling really comfortable in my Scarf Curum lead. So, good luck, have fun, Howler. And let's see which one of us is going to prevail this time when the memes are put away and it's all business. He's gonna lead Terrakion. Okay. So, that tells me one of two things. Number one, this is a lead rocker with Focus Sash. Or number two, he's Scarfed. Yeah, if he's a lead rocker, then this thing would definitely be sashed. I wouldn't see him leading with, well, this thing is the only rocker he's got two. That would actually kind of make sense. I'm just gonna switch into Curse Design. I was contemplating maybe staying in him with a Focus Blast, but I'm not as confident in that play anymore. Because Curse Design can take anything this Terrakion wants to throw at me. He is just going to set rock, so he is a lead rocker. Okay. That is good to know. I actually feel fine with that. This Terrakion might not be as big of a threat, depending on how he wants to play this. So, I'm going to set up a sub, actually, because I don't think he can really touch me. Oh! He's got Taunt. Fair enough. So in that case, I really don't think this Terrakion can touch me. I will be upfront about that. I'm going to Shadow Claw because I really don't think he stays in. I would figure he switches to Drifblim. Yeah, that's a switch to Drifblim to try to dodge the Earthquake. And I'm not letting him have that. Sorry, no dice on that one. Weakness Policy Drifblim. What are you planning on doing with this thing, good sir? And that definitely triggers Unburden as well. I would really like to have Curse Design still for Terrakion, but not gonna lie, I kind of want to predict him to Baton Pass this out, because I would not be surprised if that's what he does. I'm gonna Shadow Claw again. Call me crazy, but nope, he goes straight for the Shadow Ball, so yep, there goes Curse Design. Okie dokie. So, we may actually have a bit of a problem now. So this is definitely Unburden. I'm gonna go into Aram. I feel like that's probably my best bet at this point. And I'm gonna go ahead and click knockoff. He may... I'm honestly thinking this thing is baton pass. Strength... Okay, this Drifloon suddenly just became a colossal problem. Okay. Okay. Okay, then. I've already burned a lot of time already. Let's see here. So I'm weighing my options right now. I'm gonna click U-turn. I will let him do whatever shenanigans he wants to do, which is just gonna Shadow Ball me. I did not take that as well as I thought I could with, okay then. I'm just gonna go straight into Cryogenic now. The rocks are gonna hurt, but I should be able to live a Shadow Ball from this thing even at +2. Maybe. Yeah, I should be able to live a Shadow Ball even if he's... I forgot to switch the move on this thing. Oh my god. I meant to put Freeze Dry in this thing. I forgot to switch that when I transferred it over. It's fine. Glaciate will still kill in the situation. That's fine. He's gonna Shadow Ball. Which Kyurem's barely gonna be able to live. And this Glaciate should kill. And it does. Okay, Drifloon's off the table. So, plus side, that Drifloon that completely threw me off guard is gone. Downside is, I have taken a lot of damage trying to get rid of it. And even worse news, I have the wrong move on this Kyurem. Which means... Ugh. Which means I am in deep, deep, deep trouble now. I would need these rocks gone before I can definitely consider getting Kyurem back in if I switch it out. I can't believe I made that mistake. How did I not double check this? The stress of this all has gotten to me. Between going back to work and having to contend with that. Okay. So, honestly, I don't think this is actually the end of the world. I mean, it would suck throwing Kyurem away, but I think I might be fine, actually. I'm gonna say an Inglatiate. Because one, it breaks this thing's yeah, I can't talk anymore. It breaks Terracion's Sash, which I'm pretty sure this thing has, and it lowers its speed. Which is actually kind of vital right now. Okay. So I may have an idea. Just seeing how well it's going to work out. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I'm going to send Guardian in. Because I need Guardian to start breaking holes in Howler's team. Especially with Arcanine not around. With the minus defenses, an Iron Head definitely kills this thing. And I'm willing to go Iron Head because I don't think he switches into Duraludon because of the risk of close combat. Grimmsnarl will die to an Iron Head, and Reuniclus should take a good amount from Iron Head as well. So I actually feel comfortable making this play. I would not be surprised if he switches because of the fact that, well, I mean, I did lower this Terrakion speed. Grant, I don't know if he... I am running max speed on Cobalion, so I don't know if he went Jolly max speed to predict that, see what a speed happens in a speed tie, or if he's... or how that's playing. I know this thing's got lower speed because of the Glaciate. He's gonna switch into Reuniclus. No, he goes into Araquanid. Alright, so that didn't work out as well as I would have liked. I'm going straight into Laundry Day right now. Because I can definitely take anything this Araquanid wants to throw at me. And I can defog away these hazards to make my life a little easier. Plus, Volt Switch certainly threatens this thing out. Okay, we're behind the 8-ball. Made some mistakes. But I don't think I'm necessarily in dire straits quite yet. I think there's still a way we can pull this off. Laundry is going to take that. He's just going to straight up Liquidation. That did a... Are you a Banded Araquanid? Because that did a little more than I think I feel comfortable with. I'm just going to defog these rocks away and get rid of them. Maybe force Terrakion to try to waste some time setting them up again later. Oh, that's your game! Mirror Coat. Clever. So in that regard, then, I'm gonna Hydro Pump, actually. May seem a bit odd, but it chips away at this thing a bit. And Mirror Coat isn't doing as much back to me. Yeah, that barely did anything. So he straight up Liquidations this time. You know what? That's fine. That is fine. Because now I'm going to Pain Split to get some HP back. Wear this thing down a little more. If I can chip this Araquanid down without... and put it in a range where a Volt Switch will kill it... and not simply... oh, hey, it lives, and now I'm basically dooming something to Mirror Coat damage, then I think we're in a decent spot. A bit of HP back, to take this thing down a little more. Alright, I think we're alright here. I'm gonna Hydro Pump again, chip away at this thing a little more. I definitely don't mind the strategy. It's slow-paced, but it's slowly chipping away at this Araquanid until a Volt Switch kills it. And this thing is almost in range where I should be able to safely Volt Switch and kill this thing. Alright, Araquanid is below half now, as he's gonna Liquidation again. We look like we're actually about similar ranges here. I'm gonna Hydro Pump one more time to be on the safe side. Maybe he switches at this point. If he feels he's in range of a Volt Switch, then maybe he switches this thing out and I pelt something else with a Hydro Pump, which would be best case scenario. No, that's fine. Because this thing should definitely be low enough where a Volt Switch will kill it now. Oh, wow. He went for the Toxic and missed. I am sorry about that one, Howler. I am sorry about that one. But your Araquanid is definitely in range of a Volt Switch now. So if you stay in, this thing is dead. It also shows me you're not Assault Vest, which means you're definitely going down to this Volt Switch at this point. If he switches out, then that allows me Switch Initiative. Nope, he's going to let Araquanid go down. Which is fine with me. So we're gonna pull this to a 4. We're gonna tie this up at 4-4. And at this point, actually, how do I want to play this one? If I go into Hesukia, I feel like I invite Duraludon in right now. If I go Guardian, he may end up going Reuniclus. Let me see Terrakion real quick. A lead Terrak with this set I'm running. Yeah, close combat would definitely kill. I'm gonna go Hesukia and see what he wants to do. Ideally, I would love to be able to get up a... Ideally, I would love to be able to get up a Trick Room right now. But if he goes into Duraludon, I don't think that's happening. So I may just have to wing it from there. And see what happens. He goes into Reuniclus. Okay, then. I'm going to go ahead and set up the Trick Room. As he sets up a Light Screen. I see your game here. I'm going to straight up Shadow Ball this thing. I'm going to hold off on maxing for a moment. Because I want to see how we play this. Not, you got rid of my wise glasses. Okay. So this Reuniclus is actually a bit of a problem now. I'm gonna Shadow Ball again. It's fine, it's fine. I'm burning away screen turns, at least. Granted, he is burning away Trick Room turns as well. But... that's fine, we can adjust. And if this thing's not a Calm Mindset, I feel like it might not be as big of a threat to Cobalion. Actually, if it's Reflect and Recover, it may not be able to actually touch Cobalion without giving it a Justified boost. Which would mean he definitely needs Cobalion gone. That's more chip on this thing. Okay, he's got Psychic. Okay. So, I have how many turns of Trick Room left? 2. I'm gonna sit in here and keep Shadow Balling, honestly. I'm gonna preserve my max for as long as he will let me. Because the ideal situation right now is, if I can get to a point where... what is that? A Citrus Berry. And Recover. Heh. Okay, so I know this Reuniclus' entire set now. So... he either has 1 more turn of screens, or 3 more... well, no, this is his last turn of screens. I'm just gonna keep Shadow Balling. Got the Spadef drop, which is definitely gonna help. He's gonna Psychic again, which... There goes the light screen. The Twitch dimension is going to return to normal. I'm going to reset my Trick Room. Because I know I can take another hit from this thing. And with his Spadef dropped, he may actually... Either he resets his lights, which is exactly what he's going to do. But that's going to allow me to reset my Trick Room, which helps me out quite a bit. And this is the point where I max and blast this thing with a Phantasm. And we go from there. I mean, he may end up switching into Duraludon. Nope, he's going to leave Reuniclus in. So this thing should, even with the Spadef drop, even to a light screen, this thing should almost die to a Phantasm. Which works out which is fine for me. And any chip, if I can invite Duraludon in, any chip I'm able to get off on that thing would be crucial. So I hit this thing with a Phantasm. Almost kill it. That's gonna lower its defense, which is fine. He's going to... Okay. I see the game Howler wants to play here. And in response, I'm gonna smite this time. If I can get rid of this Reuniclus, pending what happens with Terrakion, Cobalion may still be able to save this for me. The smite will call... It seems a bit scummy I'm aiming for the confusion hacks here, but whatever gets rid of this Reuniclus. Which is exactly what's going to happen. Awesome. And I'm going to smite again. Because it definitely kills this Reuniclus through the screen. Granted, I know this is the end of my max. But his Reuniclus is gone. My Trick Room should expire on the same turn hit. I wouldn't be surprised if Duraludon comes in right now. Because I don't think well, if Close Combat's the only offensive move Terrakion has, yep, there is Duraludon. So I'm half expecting this thing to be AV. Let's see, how do the chips fall here? I have one turn of Trick Room left. This is his last turn of Screens. So... I'm gonna Dazzling Gleam to try to get some chip off on this thing, for sure. As he's gonna go ahead and max. If he's AV, this Dazzling Gleam isn't doing much. If he's anything else, Dazzling Gleam will at least do a little more, which is alright. I just need some chip off on this Duraludon to potentially put Cobalion in a position to kill it. So I'm going to Dazzling Gleam, which does a decent chunk as he Steel Spikes. That is going to boost. That's the one downside. Okay. So, this is where things are about to get interesting. Because... let's see, if I close combat... 162... Well, I kind of have to go Guardian here, honestly. So with that defense boost, I don't think Close Combat kills. It's just a matter of what he goes for and whether or not it kills me. So I need a Close Combat here, for sure. Alright. And let's see how he plays this. He's going to go for another max steel spike, which I should live. And indeed I do. Alright. Come on, Bandit Cobalion, come through for me. We may still be able to salvage this. Bandit Cobalion gets rid of Duraludon. Alright. So now this gets tricky. Because I speed tie with Terrakion. Which is obviously not a good thing. And Grimmsnarl obviously has... He's going to go Grimmsnarl. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Now I'm wondering if your screens. I have a chance to kill this thing with close combat. Though... I'm gonna go into Laundry Day, because 1, it gets rid of Cobalion's defense drops, and 2, I am half expecting this thing to try to paralyze me right now. Nope, he goes straight for the play rough. Okay. Okay, then. I'm gonna try Pain Splitting. Nope, he is fully... Okay. Okay. So I'm going back into Guardian now. I wonder... I'm gonna Iron Head. Let's see. He is Scarf Grimmsnarl! And that is the end of that. Well then. Sad to say, it's been a good run. But all good things must come to an end. Sadly. I'm just gonna click Power Whip because it's the most damaging move I've got. It's not gonna kill this thing. And that's gonna be the end of that. GG, Howler. You crushed my playoff hopes. So, fair play on that. Alright. That is... I'm at a loss for words right now. GG, Howler. Kudos on the Scarf Grimmsnarl. Had you not been Scarfed, then maybe, just maybe, I could have pulled that out. Maybe I would have... Well, no, I don't think Rotom Wash had... Well, I could have Pain Split, and... and I played that a little differently. Maybe that was still salvageable, but it is what it is. At least now I can stop stressing, because my playoff run is over. I apologize, guys. I tried my best, but in the end, it looks like I'm going to fall short and be denied one more time. So, thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy. I hope you guys enjoyed this IBL season. I'm probably going to do a season retrospective since I think a lot of IBL coaches are being encouraged to do that. And aside from that, good luck, Howler, in the finals. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.